Having this new record be so personal and really writing it and living it and having all of these experiences, and then now being able to listen to it all put together and all finished. I mean, people that want to hear it are going to hear it now, and I think learn so much about me and where I'm at in my life right now. It's just a really honest record, and I feel just excited. I can't wait to get out there. I haven't traveled and toured in a while, and I'm just ready to get back into it again and show everybody this kind of like new side of me that I feel really comfortable with. I hope people love this record and relate to it and understand. And something that I have to look forward to is just really being myself and having people, learn new things about me, because I feel like there's a little bit of a preconceived image that I'm just this really nice, normal girl, and I am, but there's stuff behind all that as well, and I want to share that with people because I think they'll relate to it and understand. Well, I was born in Houston, and when I was about 4, we moved to San Antonio. My sister started getting involved in like ballet and school plays and singing in the choir at school, and I'm like 2.5 years younger than her, so everything that she wanted to do, I wanted to do as well. And it basically was just kind of like that, she wanted to get involved in acting, and there was an acting workshop not too far away from our house, and I was the tomboy, I just always wanted to be outside and always active and doing sports and stuff like that. And Haley was a little bit different, she was more like creative and really girly, and she was having like so much fun during these acting classes, and she would come home and teach me what she'd learned, and I was like, I want to do it too, and because I wanted to be just like her. It really happened like that. We would see little things like posted on the bulletin board at the workshop, like random casting call, come here, come there, modeling job, like show up, audition, and after about a couple months of us going to this class, my mom started noticing how much more talkative I would be and not as shy, and I would, go up to anybody and start a conversation, and just really like opened both of us up a lot. And she was like so impressed by it, and we would start bugging her like, Mom, will you take us to this thing? It's this weekend, and she's like, okay. And we just we're very persistent with making it known that we wanted to do this. That's when we started coming out to LA. It's quite funny because when we first got out here, it was kind of like this whole scam thing, like we met this woman and pay her, $2,000 and everything's gonna be set up for you out here, and we have no idea how any of this stuff works, and of course we get out here and nothing is set up for us. We don't have an agent, we don't have a manager, we don't have auditions, we just have a place to stay. So she did this to like a couple families, and most of them just packed up and went home and was like bummed out. And we're like, well, we have this place and we have our homeschooling set up for 2 months. So we stayed, and we were going on auditions, and my mom like found this bookstore, how to get all this information on the business and meet people and get an agent. And Haley actually booked a commercial, and I booked a commercial, and we were like, oh, this is easy, like we're good at this, we got it down. I think I booked a couple more commercials, but then nothing else, nothing for a long time, and we were like, oh, I guess it's not as easy as we thought, and we went back to Texas, and then we would come back, and it was like nothing for a couple years. And then finally we started to both kind of book guest spots on TV shows, and I booked this movie that was a made-for-TV movie called Casper Meets Wendy. It was such a great experience because it was just a really quick lesson in how it's all done, And after that, things just started getting more and more permanent living in Los Angeles because we were working more and had to be here more, and it just kind of never stopped since then. When I booked Lizzie McGuire, a couple months before that, I had booked a TV show that I did the pilot for, and it was called Daddy-O. After the pilot, I got replaced by like 2 kids instead of 1. I don't know if they were twins or what the story was, but I was just like, oh my God, I got fired. They hate me. I was so kind of like embarrassed, I guess, that I felt like I did a bad job. So I was like, I want to go home. I want to go see my friends, and I want to like start going to school again. And my sister wanted to stay out here, so my mom stayed out here with her, and I went back with my dad in Texas and started going to school, and just for a couple months, and we were gonna figure out something else. And my mom calls me one day, and she's like, Hilary, there's this audition that Disney Channel's called for. And they knew me because I had auditioned for many things for them before. And my mom was like, Hilary, they really, really wanna see you. And I was like, no, I'm done. I'm already in Texas, I don't wanna do it. And she's like, okay, and she calls back later on that day. She's like, Susan called them and told them that you weren't in town anymore and you weren't acting anymore. And they were like, what? But she's perfect for this. We really, really want to see her. And they're like, we'll send a ticket. And I was like, we'll send a ticket? Awesome. I get a free trip to LA to go see all my friends just for like a couple days. And I thought it was great. So I went, and I didn't really go over my lines at all. And I just showed up and read. And then the casting director was like, you are terribly unprepared, aren't you? And I was like, and then it kind of like put that back in me, like that challenge that I always had, that drive to want to go in and like nail an audition and do a really good job and convince someone that I could be someone else. And when she said that to me, I was like, it's on, and I like went over my lines and did everything I could to be really good. And I came back the next day, and she's like, okay, get a call back, you're gonna come and see producers. And it was a process of like 5 or 6 auditions, and then I got it, and I just stayed in LA and started filming the pilot. And I tried to not let myself get too excited because of what had happened in the past about the TV show I'd worked on. And then when we started filming, it was just like nonstop. When I decided to be a singer, it was right when Lizzie McGuire was finished. So I had filmed the TV show for 2 years, and we worked really hard. We didn't work like a normal TV show. We did like something crazy, like 35 episodes in one season. There was a ton of young artists at the time, like singers and stuff that I would be around when I would do signings, with the cast for Lizzie McGuire. And people that I listened to and knew and heard on the radio, and would be around sometimes if we were at like a work thing together. And I was watching some of them perform one day, and I was like, if they can do that, I can do that. And I don't know if I can sing, but I could try. And I remember I took a couple voice classes when I was younger, just because I was taking acting classes and stuff. And I told my mom, and she was like, oh, great, here we go again, She had no idea about anything about the music business, and neither did I, and we didn't know anybody. And I met my manager just randomly one day, and I told him, I was like, I want to be a singer. And he was like, can you sing? I was like, I can try. And I just sang for him, He's a German guy. He's really funny. He's like, I want to work with you. And then we started shopping around to different record labels, and I got signed, and I started making a record. So it was really exciting, and just a whole new experience that I never knew that I could do or really wanted to do. But once I kind of got in the studio, and then a year later started performing in front of people, I was like hooked. My first album we called Metamorphosis. It's so funny when I look back at my records at the time. I thought it was the coolest thing to have a record, and we named it Metamorphosis because it was like a big change for me. And it was interesting being an actress and having everyone know who you are from your TV show, and then putting out a record. From my experiences, I feel like it's almost more accepted to be a singer and then turn into an actress. It seems like it's easier or something, because I had the hardest time really trying to get people to like pay attention that I wanted to be a singer. And I think it was really just like my fans from my TV show, because it was such a huge success, you know, that they all went out and bought my record, and then people couldn't really deny that my record was successful and that people liked my music, you know? And then they started like playing me a little bit on the radio here and there, and it was #1 on the Billboard charts the second week it was out. When it was told to me, I was like, that's cool, but what does it mean? I didn't know anything about the Billboard 200 chart and about how sales work and about everything, you know? And I learned it pretty quick after Metamorphosis came out. We had 3 singles, and the first one was Why Not, which was on the soundtrack for the Lizzie McGuire movie. And then my first single that I released on my own was So Yesterday, and then Come Clean. It all happened really fast, but I remember just picking the single, and we did it with the label, and then I was shooting a video and leaving for tour and going to all these radio stations and giving them my single to play on the radio, and it was just really exciting. And then the same thing happened with Come Clean, and we shot this cool video, and I got to hear my songs on the radio and sing it for all these people that like knew it, and it was cool. And I was really lucky because I wasn't writing any back then, because I didn't really even know to. You know, I was just like, I want to sing. And my manager and my label, you know, they made it to where I got to work with really great people who wrote great songs and helped me a lot in the studio. And of course, you know, I listened to the songs and said, no, I don't like that one. Yes, I like this one. Maybe we could, you know, I got to be a part of it, just not as much as I am now, which I like. It was all like a pretty slow learning process. Kara Diaguati and John Shanks wrote Come Clean and did the music to it. And I worked with Kara a little bit for some other songs on my record and with John. And I remember hearing the song and being like, what is this exactly about? And I would just listen to it, and it would be like stuck in my head, and I started to like get the words and relate to it, and it just all of a sudden made sense. And it's always tough, which I didn't realize back then, but how can you sing a song that someone else wrote? Sometimes it doesn't always work because you're like, this doesn't relate to me. I didn't experience these things. But everything that I put on my record, I really did experience and relate to. So sometimes it just works like that, that someone writes a song that you're like, I totally connect with this.
Let the rain fall down and wake my dreams. Let it wash away my sanity. 'Cause I wanna feel the thunder, I wanna scream. Let the rain fall down, I'm coming clean. I'm coming clean.
My second record was self-titled. We called it Hilary, Duff, and it was made really quickly, but I loved it. It was like, you know, my second record, I got to be a little bit more a part of the process. I got to write a little bit. I wrote a song with my sister, and learning a little bit more about how recording things work and what this sounds like and what that sounds like. And my manager's really good with that stuff, so it was cool being around him and getting to learn from him about that, and then other people I was working with. I was also filming a movie at the time, and then this was like my big tour, my big US tour, which we were like playing arenas, and they were all sold out, and it was so exciting, but my record wasn't even finished yet. So I had a single, and we had to shoot the video on my very first tour date, which was in Massachusetts. And we decided to do it like that because we had no time. And we used Chris Applebaum. And the single is called Fly.
To try, 'cause it's your time to fly.
We decided to do like this whole kind of like live action thing where right before the show, I had to fly to New York, do some work, do some like talk show, TV show type things. We took a private plane back to Massachusetts that day after we had been rehearsing, did the show, and he filmed a bunch of footage of like all of the fans, the crew running in and out during the day. And he filmed me getting ready, all of us backstage, all my band, how everything works. And it was actually like one of my favorite videos because it was just a really honest video because it was like exactly what I was doing at the time. Nothing fake. it was all real, and it was just a crazy like whirlwind. And that was Fly. And then we kicked off the tour, and we were gone all summer. It was a sold out tour, which was so exciting. And the album came out, and we were doing like interviews all day long and doing shows at night. Then right after my tour was over in September, I flew to Europe and kind of introduced my music over there for the first time, which I had never done. And my TV show had really just gotten there because everything's a little bit later. So a lot of people knew me first from my music, which I really liked because I was kind of done with my TV show at the time and wanted people to see me as a singer. And then went to Japan and did the same thing and came back and toured Canada over the winter time.
In a moment, everything can change. Feel the wind on your shoulder. For a minute, all the world can wait. Let go of yesterday.
It's such a team effort being out on the road and making a record and I guess everything with my job because I do so many things that for a while there I was just showing up and they were telling me what I was doing, and then I was like, this isn't cool anymore. Like, I want to know, I want to be a part of it, I want to help make decisions. And everyone was cool with it and everybody understands, you know, because it's kind of like you want a little bit of independence and freedom and more control of what I'm doing. And I feel like on that tour is really when it started to kick in and I started to grow and be more curious about, you know, my business and what goes on to make a tour work and stuff. And kind of at first I feel like everyone thought I want to do this all by myself, which was never the case, never could handle that, never want to, you know, but I just want to be a part of it. And now it's like they got it and we work so well together and we're like a big team. So the next single that I released was Our Lips Are Sealed, which was with my sister Haley.
Can you hear them? They talk about us, telling lies. Well, that's no surprise. Can you see them? See right through them. They have no shield, no secrets to reveal. It doesn't matter what they say. In the jealous games people play, our lips are sealed.
It's a really cute video, and Haley's obviously my sister, but she's also my best friend, so us get to work together was really fun. And I had been on tour for a while, so hadn't seen her a lot. So she flew up to Canada when I was getting ready to kick off my winter tour up there, and we shot the video. We just got to like goof around and have fun and be sisters, and we played a couple pranks like during the video shoot and then in the video. Like we did this funny thing because Haley and I are crazy when we get together. But we were like in this old car and these guys pull up next to us and we're at this, I think it was like an old drive-in type thing. And we like throw these pickles in it like, cause these guys are like staring at us and it like lands on his eyes on the window. It was fun just doing that whole process of like getting ready to shoot a video. Haley and I got to do this huge wardrobe fitting together and we figure out what like looks good. Cause we're gonna be standing next to each other and what part she sings, what part I sing. In the actual Go-Go's video, they end up in a fountain, like with bubbles and like playing around. And so we ended up in a fountain. But I bet when the Go-Go's did it, it wasn't like minus something degrees outside in Canada. It was freezing. But they made the water warm in the fountain and put all these bubbles everywhere. And Haley and I had to just like go for it and like jump in. And we actually ended up staying in there for a long time and having a lot of fun. So it wasn't so bad. And it's not every day you get to like jump in a fountain in a public place, you know, so it was fun. My next record was called Most Wanted, and the single that we chose off of that record was called Wake Up. It was a really, really fun concept for a video. The song is about everybody wanting the same thing, no matter where you are in the world. Like, some people just need to go out and forget about all the pressure and all the stress that they have and just go out and have a good time and forget all the negativity and just have fun.
What they say, 'cause I need to go, need to get away tonight. I put my makeup on a Saturday night. I try to make it happen, try to make it alright. I know I make mistakes, I'm living life day to day. It's never really easy, but it's okay. Wake up on a Saturday night. Could be New York, maybe Hollywood and Vine. London, Paris, maybe Tokyo. There's something going on anywhere I go tonight. Yeah, tonight.
So it's really a catchy song, but it talks about being in all my favorite places in the world, which is Tokyo and Paris and London and New York. And we got to do all different looks. And we did this really funky, New York underground type club. And I had really dark eyes, and that was my New York look. And then I had this really short black bob and this total Japanese ensemble in a place that looked kind of like a Japanese club. Then we did a very Parisian look with a tiny little dress and fishnets and red lips and a beret. We had an English look that was more of a fun scarf and just kind of messy hair and cool, in the back of a English cab with friends. And it was really fun because I just got to experiment with all these different looks in the video, and it was very high energy, and I loved that. Every look that I had in the video and everything that I did wasn't so far away from my real life, and how, when my personality gets a certain way, I like to change. I like to look different, dress different. It's all very creative, and it got to show so many different sides of me, and it's all things that I have fun doing, is being creative and looking different and playing with your personality,
Wake up on a Saturday night. Could be New York, maybe Hollywood and Vine. London, Paris, maybe Tokyo. There's something going on anywhere I go. Wake up on a Saturday night. Could be New York, maybe Hollywood and Vine. London, Paris, maybe Tokyo.
When I did the new songs for my Most Wanted record, I didn't even really know what I wanted at the time. I just knew that when I heard these songs, they were really catchy, and I liked them, and I thought it was kind of a cool direction to go from this kind of pop rock sound that I was doing before, and then moving into this kind of still pop music, but adding this semi-dance edge, but still with all real instruments.
To the beat of my heart. I'm thinking about letting it out. I wanna give it.
Beat of My Heart was a totally different song from anything I had done before, because it was just very dance, pop, techno-ish, and nothing I had ever really been into before, but I knew when I heard it, I was whoa, I really like this, and I think this could be a single.
Not worried about anything else. I'm waking up to the beat of my heart. 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 It tears us apart.
So we shot a really cool video, and I wanted to do something kind of mod and not robotic, but just different, not super personal, because I feel everything that I had done before was really just me and my personality, and I kind of wanted to do a character. So the vision of having everything be see-through, you know, like the instruments and the amps and my microphone, and the way I held it and the way I walked would be different. And I sat in this bubble, which was like this chair thing for some of the video, and it was all these really cool special effects. It was just really interesting. It was definitely one of the most difficult videos to shoot because everything had to be really precise and perfect, and I've never really worked like that before. I never was like a choreographed artist where I was taught how to dance and do this. I would just do what I felt. And so for this, it was like the first time it was really like, okay, move like this, do like this, and we got it done, and it was fun. It turned out really cool and had this really weird colors and very fluid video, and it totally matched the song. When I heard that altogether, you know, worldwide, I had sold like a total of 13 million records, it was so strange. I still don't believe it. It just seems kind of impossible for me, you know. I don't feel like someone who could do that, you know, and I found it in a really strange way too. It wasn't like I had been keeping count or I even knew, you know, because I was so busy, you don't even have time to think or like really enjoy this and be like, oh my gosh, 3 years ago, if I could have known that I was going to do this, I would have died. And I feel so lucky, and it makes me feel like I do this for a reason. When I decided to name my record Dignity, it felt like a really strong title. Dignity is something that my mom has always really tried to instill in my sister and I, and it's not something that you can be given or that you can just get or that you're born with. It's something that you have to work on. It's not always the easiest road to take, and it's something that I hope to always strive to have. Before I released my album Dignity, we released a single called Play With Fire, and it was really just kind of a tease, like a hint to get people into my new sound and what it's going to be like. And a lot of the songs on the record are different from Play With Fire, but it just matches the whole kind of like dance, electro mixed with a little bit of rock sounding vibe. When I started to work on this record, I was at a place in my life that I really wanted to work on a movie because I had been touring for such a long time, and it can be really draining. It's so exciting. It's like probably one of my favorite things to do, but you need a break from it, you know, to like kind of find your passion again. And I was just wanting to write because I knew that I wanted it to be all about me doing it.
And you can just love me, feed the flame. If you want me back again, burn to the sky, higher and higher. Baby, can you play with fire? Love me, if you want me.
Just to look back on my life and like some of the years and the experiences that I've had, and be able to sit down and just write them out and not feel shy or embarrassed if it sounds bad or good, because you don't have to use it if you don't want to. But to like open that part of myself up was really exciting because I ended up finding out that I can do it, you know, and it's easy and exhilarating, you know. It's so freeing to be able to look inside yourself and see things that affect you so much that you've held on to them for long enough to write about them. We had some songs done, and then I got this call from my agent that said, okay, I'm sending a script over. I don't know if you're gonna like it because you have to play a pop star, but read it. And I was like, pop star? I don't want to play a pop star, you know? He's like, I want you to talk to these people. And so I read the script. I talked to John Cusack, who wrote it and starred in the movie, and he's like, do you want to do this? Because we'd really love to have you come down here to Bulgaria and do this movie. And I was like, I really, really want to do it, you know? And the movie's called War, Inc., and I was up there for about 2 months. So then I came back home, had some time off for Christmas, and then got back full into like making the record. I wasn't doing anything else but writing and being in the studio and listening to tracks and, you know, working with people on the record and figuring out exactly what these songs are going to be about. I'm so happy that I took that break to make the movie because lots of like personal things and experiences happened in my life that if I hadn't have experienced, wouldn't have made my record the same. A lot of the record is really, really serious, but a lot of it's done very tongue-in-cheek too, like some of the songs. It's just like so my personality and so me and so everything I think. With Love is the first single off of my new record, Dignity. It's totally dancey and fun and upbeat and just catchy. And I have a fragrance that's called With Love. And when we came up for the promotion of what we wanted to do for the fragrance, we decided to shoot like a little commercial that looks like a video. You know, so people are like watching TV and commercials are on, but then like this mini clip of like a video that like takes you into the story really quickly happens. And I wrote the song for the commercial and the fragrance and then put it on my record because I liked it so much. And it really just talks about being in a relationship and listening to the person that you're with and that you love. And even though it seems like you're not listening sometimes, you really are because you know what he's saying comes from a place of love. Thinking about kind of like where I am now in my life and the way that I look and how comfortable I feel with everything and how kind of just normal it's all become seems like such a long way away from where I started. You know, I remember shooting my very first video and being really nervous and not knowing what I was doing and feeling like, is this me? Am I, you know, I want to be myself, but I also need to be a little bit bigger and are people going to like this? And then just kind of having so many experiences since then, shooting videos, you just grow, you know, and it's like a natural progression that you get more comfortable. It's funny because I look back and I see things that I used to do, if it was like a facial expression I used to make or something, some dance movement that I would make. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I do that. But it's like really funny because you learn, and I'm sure hopefully 10 years from now I'll be able to look back at this time right now and say, oh my God, I can't believe I wore that. I thought that was so cool. It's just all my experiences and the way that my life has gone, and I'm really happy and I feel really lucky, and to be able to have it all documented like it is exciting, you know. I feel like a very, very lucky girl, and I feel like I'm in a good place where I work hard and I have a life outside of my work that I have all kinds of different experiences in, and you know, I have a great family, and all of those things really help me be who I am throughout my life and my career.
5 o'clock. And her band is warming up, checking out.
What time do you think they let us up there? Like 6?
I would think.
I think 6 is really good. I think they'd have to let you up through here so people don't cut in.
Yeah. Yeah, right in here I think they're going to put you in. God bless America.
Yeah, that's the end of the line back there.
Yeah. And he ended up being first in line.
clear up this. Yeah, hang out in the corner.
Okay.
You wanna go line up? Go line up.
I am lined up. A bathroom around here?
One side the variety cafe over there.
Variety cafe?
One side here, down the street.
Thank you. This is the one with the culture?
We are right next to the stage. We'll stand right there.
Troy! 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 Hey everyone!
CDs are falling.
Alright guys, stand by. Here we go.
What do you think? Yeah. Thanks,
What's that? I'm gonna rewind it. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you very much.
I love you, Will!
Hello? We are right on the side of the stage. We are 5 feet from her. She just got done doing her break. She just did 3 songs just now, 5 feet away.
Other things have gone by very fast, but I agree with the sentiment I have that they said that they think about it every day.
Got Meredith right there. Saying hello to everybody.
In London, Charles, her picture is still on the front pages of newspapers, on the covers of magazines. There's all kind of discussion now being regenerated because of the 10-year anniversary approaching. Does that level of interest surprise you? No, I actually don't think it will ever go away. And of course, her sort of peaks and troughs, and this is a peak because of the 10th anniversary. But if you come here any time in the last 10 years, there's still an enormous amount of interest in that. And most of it very positive. and supports it. Began an inquest, a formal inquest into her death beginning in the fall. This after years of formal investigations. It's a little confusing for some people who haven't followed it closely. What questions do you think remain to be answered in your mind?
Well, I know there are lots of conspiracy theories. I've never seen any evidence that would support I'm not saying that's not the reason job, but I've never ever seen anything that convinces me that there wasn't a conspiracy.
So what you feel is it was a tragic accident, it was a driver under the influence, pursued perhaps too closely by the press?
Yeah, that's how it looks to me now. And has always done so over the last 10 years. So I've had lots of people write to me, former agents, MI5, or whoever, saying it's this or that. But actually, when you look into it, each one of those hasn't had anything.
I went back and I looked at the transcript of the eulogy you delivered at Westminster Abbey on the occasion of her funeral. And boy, I mean, first of all, it was very emotional, as you would imagine. But it was pointed also. And you pointed some of your comments and criticisms to the royal family and to the press.
Practice. who's calling me. Surprised a customer hasn't called me yet. Hello. Yeah. Okay. I know the camera hasn't been here yet, but all the cameras are already lined up in front of this stage, and we're to the right with the guy with the dancer with the red shirt. We're on that right side, all right? Not yet. They're on stage and they're ready. So here they go. You're gonna get ready, all right? Bye.
Choose any direction as long as it's moving forward. Toyota, moving forward.
There goes Meredith.
You guys gonna sing with me?
I really love that. I like more places,
Oops, sorry, baby.
Hilary, this way! What pop or rock? Sorry. Like pop rock is really good. I want to get a good picture. Oh, you can't see her.
Toyota Concert Series on today. Choose any direction as long as it's moving forward. Toyota, moving forward.
Tell me
Did you see me? Yes, I did. Oh, here she comes. Oh my God. Come here, come here. Hilary, autograph! Oh man. Yeah. Yep, yep. Cool. There he is. Now Meredith is going to interview her, and I hope she comes on. My daughter wants an autograph so bad. Throw it on the stage, Megan. No, no, I'm on the opposite side right now.
Okay.
Yeah, yep. Yeah. See you later. Bye. Oh.
Thing that I'm trying to do, but really was like the first time that I wanted to write my own music. Come up with the sound, and I am a little bit older, and I look a little different, and that's kind of normal. So I think it's just kind of wearing like. And I love the fact that it's called it's not normally white. I think I would like to know there are a lot of actresses that follow performers who are struggling with that concept of being dignified. And you stay above the fray. How do you manage to do that? I don't know. I wish there was like some formula I could explain. It's not. I guess it's just a different thing. A way that you like to be seen or what you like to be. I'm really interested in family. I'm very normal when I get home. I'm not working it. I work pretty much every day, but I hang out with my dogs and I live with my sister and we're trying to learn how to cook so we can feed ourselves. Yeah, actually, Haley's better than I am, but I can bake, which is good. It's dangerous. And I know that you're going on tour soon. Yeah, I'm going to be going on tour all summer, so we start August 6th, and then all the dates will be on my website. And is there anyone I didn't take for any cameras or that? Because you say it. Well, I wish I was doing like material things, but my band, my crew, and everything I rely on my dog, so I don't know if everyone wants to go out and get a dog, but that's what I think. And what do you think of what goes down? This is a single that we just did, the video for it just got released, so it's called Strange.
That was this cruel to you. Did I ever make you wonder who's standing in the room? You made yourself look worse than every way. So when this goes down, I'm the one who will be late. Your plan is working so you can just walk away. Baby, your secret's safe.
autograph.
Hilary, picture!
Megan. Come on. Hilary, come on.
What do we have here?
That's for the prep.
Hilary, this way!
Hilary. Please. Yes. Yes. Oh my God. Her name is Megan.
Please,
Unbelievable.
Hilary, you look beautiful!
Hold on. Hilary just signed her CD. Yup.
She did something so good!
She did too. She just signed her CD. I got it on video. Alright, she's doing another song for us. I'll call you back. That is, thank you, Lord.
Let the rain fall.